What's good, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode here at Kickin and Mellow, the place where you can kick off your shoes, kick it back, and kick it with the fam. You already know what it is. I'm your host, the one and only Brandon DeVincent. To my right, I have the lovely.
It's your other host, your girl Ashley Elise, coming through today with some very chill vibes. I think we got somebody in the back. Who is that?
Hi guys.
What?
She speaks.
What? She has a voice?
She has a name. That is our lovely producer in the back. That's Amalula.
Indeed. Welcome in.
Thanks, guys.
I guess next time we have to get you. Well, not next time, but we have to get you on a live camera and not the bloopers and behind the scenes. You know they're gonna be asking for it now that they heard your voice. You know what I'm saying? But you might have been actually, if y'all haven't checked out the behind the scenes clips at the end of the video, y'all might see that Lola is one of the rising stars of that behind the scenes clips. You know what I'm saying? She done a little rapping. You know, she's prayed or not prayed.
Stop the cat.
Y'all gotta definitely check those out for sure. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into get started in the episode. Any cool, exciting, random, wild things happen this week? Anything of significance to you?
What? You said you was going to start us off with it? What? Come on. Tell the people what you been up to this week.
That's the same old for me. Except this week I had a couple of days where I did 3 days. They were fun, but they weren't fern.
All right.
Fun afterwards.
Somebody needs some water.
Yeah, we all need water. But yeah, I think it was 2 days ago. I got done. It was Friday. I was playing tennis, so I worked out prior to going to tennis. Then I worked out at the tennis court before tennis because I had to do my 2 workouts for the 30-day challenge. Then I played tennis. Got home. I sat in my truck a little too long, and I felt it coming. I knew I was gonna get a cramp. By the end of the night, like it was just definitely, it's like it was just simmering in my body, like it wanted to come out. And I remember I was chilling. I was like, cool. I got a free Friday night. I'm gonna hop on the game. I'm on the game, and we get into the game. It's the first quarter, and all I do is make a slight jerk, like to the left, and like instantly I get a cramp at like 3 spots, like boom, 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 like my right hamstring, my left quad, and like right here, like my top left, like ab, all at the same time, and it was madness. Like it's crazy. Like when it happened, like luckily I had them on mute. Like I already had them on mute, and so I like instantly try to stand up, but it like got worse, and it's like I'm trying to breathe. But I'm on defense too, so I'm like trying to guard the player, and like so I'm like trying to stand, but like notice like I'm trying to breathe and I'm trying to stand, but like both of my legs are like cramping, and so it got to the point where I knew that an L was gonna be taken, so I'd rather do the one I can control the most, and I just started out the game. And I texted him. I was like, "Hey man, like I just caught 3 cramps and I can't even focus right now. Like, I didn't want to be the reason why we lost. Because it was going on for about like 2 to 3 minutes and it wasn't stopping. And so I had to get off and I had to like stretch and yeah, it was madness. Definitely madness. So more of the story is stretch. Do your stretching before, maybe during, and definitely afterwards. Don't just sit and thinking like, oh, okay, yeah, I had a good day today. I feel good, because it will creep up on you. And take care of your body, man. Period. What? what about you?
Yeah, I don't have no detailed story about no cramp experience during the week. My week was rather chill, slightly triggering, but rather chill. I would say the highlight of my week was getting the approval to attend a conference, which is the AMEC conference hosted by SNMA. So I'm really looking forward to that. Got the approval as well as I got funding to attend. So it's mad dope. That's happening for me in about 2 weeks. So I'll definitely come back and share the experience. I'm actually happy to go. I'm in a group me, and there's over like 900 people in that chat, and it's dope because we all minorities and we all showing up to this conference. So I feel like I'm about to go to a family reunion with some long lost cousins, my favorite cousins that I've never met before in my life type thing. So definitely have something to look forward to. Something else is I failed my challenge that I started, so I had to like restart that mug, like make it more feasible for myself. And I started that on April 1st. Ha! On the day full of jokes type thing. So we'll see how that might go.
Nah, hey, y'all remember when GroupMe was like IG?
I don't remember that.
That back in college when everybody was like in all the GroupMe, and that was like the social media type thing. It was like everybody was like, oh, I had this GroupMe. It's like 15 million GroupMes. Like that was crazy back then. And that was like a way to like look up people, be like, oh snap, well, shoot, I got they in this GroupMe, whatever, add them, whatever type thing. Like, it was crazy. It's crazy how it died off though. Like for sure. Like now it's popular. All my chats are like muted, like for a fact muted. But I guess y'all remember.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. Type thing.
Sleep. But anyways, so we can go ahead and get started with the topic today.
What you want to talk about?
I mean, shoot, I guess we can kind of relate it to GroupMe in a sense. We gonna talk about learning how to let go, and we gonna have to let go. I had to let go of a GroupMe because it's just it was too popping at one point. But yeah, no. That's how it was. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how you don't remember everybody talking about. Oh yeah, you in this group. Like literally, it's like 15 million GroupMe. You go to my phone.
I guess I wasn't as like social, or my circles weren't people who were like on GroupMe heavy. Like when I went to college, it sounded like 15 million years ago, but it was Instagram. Like it wasn't no. I don't know. I was gonna say maybe it's a gamer thing. I don't know. I don't remember. I remember that. Like the chats that I was in was like UMA, the undergraduate medical academy, but it wasn't like yo, like what group me you in? Like yo, what you got going on? Yo, did you see that person? Nah, I was just keeping up with like volunteer activities or like whenever we had a person coming to present or something. But
yeah. Like every organization, if you was looking for a job, if you was doing networking, it's like so many different GroupMes. Like it's crazy. Like, but I mean, it's like to each his own, I guess. Like whatever you're searching for, I feel like GroupMe is sort of like a Reddit kind of sort of. Not really, but
not even.
But like it's literally was like a serving place for a lot of people, depending on what you were looking for. They had a group for it type thing.
Right.
Like in different communities and stuff.
Because you talking about letting go, you could like, I know like, that was like in middle school, high school, like when it was like Bebo and like
Bebo for
MySpace.
Sure.
I don't remember the other ones, but for sure,
Bebo,
them
type
MySpace. Them things was dope because you got to create your own page.
Yeah.
Now these platforms, you don't really create your own page. You just talk and watch people's personal life. But this is not what we're supposed to be talking about today. Social media.
We're talking about letting go. Everything is like an evolution, for sure. Because Bebo was definitely a defining moment.
I wonder what happened to it.
Kick.
Not defining moment.
Yeah, defining.
It's dramatic.
It's all relative, you know. Hold it.
It was an achi moment.
Yeah, no. But yeah, if we talking about like letting go and stuff like that, like how do you know like when is the time? Like even for like stuff like that, like we don't have to talk about on the business side of things, but that's actually interesting for something like a Facebook, and you see them now going into this whole like meta universe and everything like that, and it's like they're expanding their time because a lot of people was just thinking Facebook was just gonna be like, oh, I'm keeping up with old friends, and now it's like, oh no, we all in your business, we got your messaging, you can make calls, you can do all this other stuff, and so one would say Facebook doesn't know how to let go, but
They trying to keep up.
right, they're trying to keep up and they're trying to beat us into this future world.
Shoot, that's everything.
Right. So like, how do you have I guess any idea? It's a hard question, I think, but how do you feel like you know when it's time to release or let something go?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know if I've ever, for certain, like known like I need to let something go or to release something when I'm actually supposed to do it, type thing. I do it probably in a delayed manner, so it's probably like I should have been done it, type thing. But I don't do it until it gets to a certain point. And I think for each thing, it varies. Like letting go of some emotions, or letting go of fear, letting go of anxiety, or letting go of people, or letting go of goals, or letting go of relationships. They vary for me across the board, type thing. So I'm not really sure if there's like a answer, but I think something that they have in common is it no longer serves me. It does more harm than it does benefit, type thing.
Okay. No, I can definitely see that. Cause I agree. It's that this is probably a never ending struggle. Maybe we're all gonna be dealing with this. Um, Cause it definitely depends on like what do you value, like in the things that you seek. It can be relationships, like you're saying, like goals, or even a lot of people put a lot of value on just time and like where they're at in their lives, type thing. Where it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm at this age, so I had to let go of this dream or something like that. Which I can't say I completely agree to, but to each his own. But for me, if I had to give an answer, I think it's similar to what I guess, right? It's like, nope, I'm not giving an answer. Let's move on next question.
You should.
But if I had to give an answer, it's more so like you're saying in regards to like it's not serving you anymore. It's more so on the tip of everything feels like, well, not everything. It feels like it's being a force. Like it's not a natural order or natural. I don't want to say attachment, but it just seems like you're forcing that goal to happen. Like your body is telling you no, everything's telling you no, but it's like you're forcing it because of whatever reason, type thing. Possibly, but this is it's a question that we all sort of go through. But I think that's it. If I feel myself forcing something that's not natural anymore, then that's when I start to think, okay, well, how should I reimagine this? It can be a goal, it can be a relationship, it can be a task, it can be whatever the case may be. But if it doesn't feel like it's coming to me naturally, then I have to reassess and figure out what steps I need to get this together for the betterment of myself. So, hopefully that was a good synopsis. But so like, we know we've all had those moments where we had to like release, or we had to let something go in order to move forward. We talked about a little bit in sacrifices versus compromises. If I ain't checked that out, go ahead and check that out. Shameless plug. But with that, what are some benefits that you feel like you reaped from, letting go in the past? If you have anything that comes to mind.
Again, I think it depends on what it is that I've let go or released, what we're talking about. But I think, again, just across the board, something that would be in common in all those situations is space. The benefit is space for me, freedom for me, a reserve of energy for me, type thing. Just my availability, which creates an opportunity for me to be able to evaluate where I have been, where I am, and where I want to be, type thing. Because letting go or releasing isn't always an easy task. Sometimes it's a daunting task, depending on how invested we may be, and it also depends on the type of investment that we put for, type thing. But overall, I would just say me, like that's the benefit. More access to myself, whether I want it or not type thing.
Have you ever had a like a goal that you had to stop moving towards in order to go towards a different goal? Have you ever had an experience like that? Something similar to that? Something you thought you might have wanted, but then you reached a certain point and realized it wasn't exactly what you wanted type thing?
I guess like kind of sort of. I don't think I've ever really. I can't like at this very moment. I can't think of a goal in which I've created and I've just let that goal go entirely. I know of instances where I've modified my goals, kind of like, oh, I want to be a doctor. So when I graduate from PD, I want to go straight into medical school. Well, I had to get rid of that one and make it a little bit more feasible for me. Like, oh, I will get there, I will get to medical school, but it won't be immediately after I graduate. I can do other things. So I guess in a sense, I released that deadline, that window, that time frame. I released that, but I didn't release my ultimate goal or let go of my ultimate goal, which I think I tend to do. I don't necessarily release goals wise, release it fully. I just modify it type thing to make it more feasible or reachable for me. But I think in other spaces like people or relationships, yeah.
Got you. Yeah, I don't know. When you were talking, it made me think about. I was having a conversation with my dad earlier this week, and we were just talking about certain things. He was actually dropping some major gems, low key.
We find out we need to make him a special guest on space.
He reminded me of myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right, the seed.
But no, he said something like, he said a lot, but I'm gonna try to pick out this one part. He said he was talking about in regards to the difference between like hoping and manifesting, and he was pretty much saying like a lot of times when we hope for things, or even sometimes when we pray for things, we have an expectation attached to it. Sort of like how we talked about expectations before. If you haven't catch the episode, Shameless Blood, but he talked about that sort of the groundwork to the potential disappointment later, because we felt as though we were expecting this like to happen, instead of when like manifesting is truly realizing and believing that it's already happened and it's destined to happen. Whenever it does happen, it will happen type thing. You're not expecting it to happen at a certain time. It just will happen type thing.
I think I can agree to an extent, but I would have to modify that statement for me personally. I can agree in relation to like hoping you have expectations, but I think with manifestation you also have some sort of expectation. But I think what the difference is for me personally is if I am hoping that something happens, I'm probably only associating positivity with my expectations. No room or space for it to be anything like negative or to be a bad like outcome in my expectations. But in regards to manifestations, I'm open to everything. My expectations aren't just like positive, like, oh, it could be this. I'm like more open to like, I guess it going backwards or to the left, just whatever direction type thing. So I think expectations exist on both sides. It's just more so the window, the openness that you have, I guess.
Easier for acceptance per se.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I can definitely see that. But I guess the reason why I brought it up, because that sort of makes it easier for me to relinquish control after I've done all I can do. So when we talk about like releasing, for me, I enjoy the feeling of releasing, meaning that I get to a point where I realize, oh, I've done all I can do. Bet. Now I can move on. You know, it's out of my control. So like whatever happens from here, you know, that it is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that's what helped me, especially in the year 2022, because I've still have yet to have a bad day, and I'm not indeed talking a bad day into existence. It's more so of me pretty much explaining to y'all what the mental can do in regards to how you perceive circumstances and what has come through. Um, have I wanted some things this year in particular timing? You can debate, yeah. Am I disappointed that they didn't happen? Nah, because it's a lot of beautiful things that have been matriculating and that have come and will be coming soon. So it's like the appreciation is just way wider, way broader. Um, and I can't really explain it too much in detail, other than it gets a little bit easier for me once I can genuinely release and not feel like I have to have power or control over something for it to matriculate. Nah, I've done what I can do. Let's let the work prove out, and just ride it out, see what happens. I think.
I think for me personally, I think it's easier to let go of something or someone. Dang, no, it's not easier to do that. For me personally, it's easier to let go of something when I am the only person in the space or like in the mix, in the equation.
Yeah.
When you add other people into the mix, it becomes challenging for me to let go or release because sometimes I can find myself questioning, can I do more? Did I do enough? But when it's me, like, I don't know, maybe because I don't have to share the load or the responsibility, I 100% know that I've given my best type thing. And ain't nobody gonna come in the mix and say otherwise. But whenever I'm dealing with other people, I think it's challenging because I'm not quite sure. Like, did I do a good enough job of balancing or carrying like my responsibility, my load? Should I have assisted the other person or the people in the situation with carrying the load? And then also at the same time, somebody else in that same space could come back and be like, you could have done more, you didn't do enough type thing. So it's like several factors weighing in on like, oh snap, like is it fair for me to release or not? But when I'm by myself, then the only person having a conversation with me is me. So I find it easier. And when I say that, like that probably sounded confusing, but in short, it's like it's easier for me to let go of something in relation to my goals if I were to do it, or some sort of emotion or something internal if it's only me type thing in the equation. But it's harder for me to let go of people or relationships because it's not just me in the equation type thing.
No, that definitely made a lot of sense because we talk about like attachments. They're deeper than what the eye can see, and so when it comes down to releasing or letting go of relationships or things, objects, or ideas, goals, it's tough because you begin to question yourself, like in regards to like your potentially you can question like maybe your worth or am I where I'm supposed to be? You begin to question a lot of things about um, yourself, and I know I've specifically like with relationships and maybe more so taking a step back as I move forward and not sure exactly who I can you know continuously give energy to in certain situations. It definitely makes me feel like I may not be the best friend that I could be because I'm being a little more selfish with my space, if that makes sense. So sometimes I do question if I could do more, or like I just said, like, am I actually being a quality friend if I'm being more selfish with my energy uh, and my space and my time uh, and my approach to helping individuals with certain problems or issues. I don't know if it's coming off differently. Not saying that I worry too much about other people's thoughts, but obviously I'm human and I care about the people around me and I care about how they perceive me to a certain extent. And I don't want to come off like, oh, I don't want to hit up Brandon because he's either too busy or, I don't want to bring all this negative energy to him and all this other stuff. And so I don't want to come off as somebody like, you can't come to me if you're looking to release, or vice versa. And so I struggle with that sometimes when I think about that in regards to like taking a step back and being more selfish. It's like, damn, am I really being a good friend, a quality friend if I do this? You know, I think in the long term, yeah, because I'm working on myself and I have a clear mind, clear judgment, and be able to assist. But in the moment, am I giving off like this energy where it's like, oh, I don't know if I can come talk to you type thing. You know, I don't know if you have a question or something like that, but that's what it made me think about.
Look at me. I don't know if it's like me being, I guess, essentially like brought up on like survival of the fittest, but I think it's fair to have time periods in our life to where we try to channel our energy like for ourselves type thing, like take that moment, take that time, and sometimes it looks different every time we do it. And I think the people who are like present in our lives and who understand us and who continue like stick with us like on a daily basis type thing should be able to understand like essentially self-preservation is the steps that we take to do that, and it wouldn't necessarily be selfish in a negative manner type thing. So I think it's cool just as long as, you know, the people that we rock with understand. And sometimes there won't be a thing where like the people that we rock with or allegedly rock with understand that we need this space and time like for ourselves to grow and evolve like in our own space. I think sometimes they don't, and I think that's okay. I think for me personally, in regards to like letting go or releasing whatever relationships with people, I think it's challenging because I mean, like something as simple as like letting go or releasing my desires or want to have a relationship with my parents. The thing that makes it most challenging is because in society, that's like I don't think that's deemed as normal type thing. Like you're supposed to have a relationship with your parents. So with me being mindful of society's expectations of me, it's like, well, shoot, I can't let that go because everybody's gonna view me as abnormal or I'm strange or I'm problematic. No one's gonna know the impact that this relationship has on me and my well-being type thing because those things are behind the scenes. So it's like, well, I have to set aside this fear or set aside my acceptance of society's expectations of me to be able to look out for my well-being. Even though it may be deemed as normal, that shouldn't be normal. What should be normal is having a healthy relationship that is conducive to your personal growth. And I just use my parents as an example because that's probably something more easily stated. But and that's a thing of like parents because they birth you. But sometimes there's also like relationships that are like hard to let go of because of an investment, which is what I spoke about earlier. I think something that makes it hard to let go of a relationship or a person or release the investment is time. The more time you put into a space, the more challenging it is to walk away because you think, dang, but all of that time. And with all that time, there's some good memories as well as bad memories. But still, that number one factor is time, something that you can't get back. So maybe perhaps you think in due time, things will get better or things will return the same. But it's like, how much time will you continue to allow to pass by while you're waiting on things to be better or get better type thing? What are you sacrificing essentially? So that's what I mean when I say I find it challenging to let go sometimes in regards to like relationships or people, but it's easier for like goals or like emotions because I can physically feel, you know, like, oh, me holding on to this fear is not a good thing. It's weighing me down. Like, where is it coming from? It's easier for me to analyze that. And then also it's more socially acceptable for me to let go of sensations of fear, anxiety, or being overwhelmed. Like people don't want you to feel bad in that regards. But when it's dealing with people, I don't know why people are more so, where I find that people are more so like, oh, you know, if you just stick it out or, you know, turn the other cheek, blah, 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 like things will get better. I don't know why people are like that. So we don't know who it's going to be, but apparently it's probably going to be me. You have reached this point of the segment where unfortunately we have to cut it off type thing. You reached the end of the segment. We really do appreciate you for coming in and joining in on the first part 1. But we also want you to what? Tune in for part 2 later on in the week. Come back, sweetheart.
It's so hard to say goodbye to
Oh my
yesterday.
God. Good.
You actually got you ready for the video today, because you be talking about how I'm not trying. Listen, let me finish it. Let me finish it.
Go ahead.
I'm saying because you always talking about you don't want to get in there because whatever, but I'm saying you look nice.
If you look at the thumbnail of the last one, I look a hot ass mess. Let's be very honest. If you look at the thumbnail, I just feel like
let me see.
You know, Brandon really don't. I don't know what Brandon be doing when he be making that mud. But
I was just like, okay. Yeah. I was like, just say if you don't like me, just say something.
Right. But I guess it's our fault. We leave him in here to edit type thing.
I mean, I can't put the smile in every one of them.
Why?
It's weird. It's different emotions every time. So I try to take the parts from the behind the scenes that are entertaining. So if we have entertaining looks, then it's like, okay. Because it's supposed to make them click on it. Think I better let him go. Boom, do, 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 do,
dang, if I'm flying on today, wait till my challenge. Be big fine. I just look good.
That's the confidence we all need.
Yes.
We.
I mean, I have that confidence. When I get real fine. I don't want to say that. I hate that TikTok. Ugh.
Oh, when I get real fine?
Because it gets stuck in your head.
Because I ain't paying nobody no mind.
I don't pay you no mind. I don't get real fine.
Am I outside? Nah, I ain't outside. I'm in the back. I'm on the back. I'm in the backyard. Small little perimeter. You climb the fence, you can meet me back there.
None of these messages came through yesterday. What's happening?
Climb the fence, you gonna meet this glizzy.
Yeah.
This one. Brandon.
Yeah, so I chose that one because it was saying how do you reset? So it felt like
I look sad and depressed.
Yeah, how do you reset?
He said, yeah. Like he knew.
It's more. So,
all right, this is my cue.
No, we're all looking. He pointed at me like I'm looking like, you know what I'm saying?
What was that? What was that?
I ain't hear you do that. That count.